Hey y'all, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be doing something just a little bit different, a little bit new for me. And before I get into what we're going to do, well, if you clicked on this video and you've seen the thumbnail and the title, you know why you're here, you know why I'm here, but I'm just taking a little break from the day. This is how I'm deciding to spend my lunch break today. It's been a glorious Thursday, post-Canadian Thanksgiving holiday. Note the sarcasm, I started my day off with a dentist appointment. There's nothing quite like the dentist to just truly ravish your face and your teeth, and you know, they love to just talk to you while they're doing this to your gums. So that was fun. And I drove to my family dentist, so it was a bit of a hike, all in all, whatever. And then just before I started filming, not that you need to know this, but I just, you know, I'm feeling chatty. I walked into my bedroom, was looking for something, and I'm in a walkout basement apartment, and my bedroom has, you know, kind of like a typical basement window, doesn't have any overhead lighting, and so I only really get daylight in through that window at a very specific time of day, usually kind of around now. And so it's only in this kind of moment, and usually I'm not in my bedroom at this time of day, but I happened to look at the mirror and I was like, oh my God, it is so dusty. And then I had to kind of have a reckoning with myself, like, when was the last time I dusted? I don't know. So now that's on my to-do list for today after filming, well, and work. But right now we're undergoing a late afternoon little lunch break, and it should be quick, so it works, you know? Perks of working from home. I can film a video on my lunch break. Anyways, today we're doing a swatch party. I was really good over the summer about not really buying any unnecessary makeup or skincare products. So last month, September, I decided that I was going to treat myself a little bit, and I placed an order that I had been dying for from Kaleidos, and I had also placed an order with Phytosurgeons, and this is actually the first time that I've placed a Phytosurgeons order. I have a Phytosurgeons blush, but it's actually a blush that my darling friend Chani gave to me. So this is my first, I'm like a virgin Phytosurgeons customer until now, and I think it's actually the order of that is in my mailbox, so I just need to bother my landlords about getting the key to the mailbox so I can go retrieve that. So stay tuned for a video with some beautiful Phytosurgeons products sometime soon, hopefully. But today I have been absolutely lusting after these, and as I said, I treated myself to kind of a somewhat elaborate purchase, and I bought the entire set of the Kaleidos Untamed Glow Glossy Lip Glaze. When they announced this collection, my goodness, I thought my head was going to blow off. It all looked so beautiful. I wasn't intensely intrigued by the new blushes that they released or the eyeshadow palettes. I already have a few of their blushes. The blush in the shade Sanguine is like my all-time favorite blush. It has barely left my vanity or my little makeup bag since I bought it. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I do have one of their eyeshadow palettes too, and their formulas are just next level. And I also have their other lip products. I think I have 3 shades. Cloud Lab Lip Glaze, which are also absolutely stunning in terms of formula. This is the shade Wild Apple, and it's quite beautiful. I have a few, like I said, a few shades. One that I've got more of like a fall tone. It's kind of this like almost blood red shade, and then Wild Apple was just a little bit more brighter. There's a little bit more blue in it. It's lovely. But when I saw the promo photos for the Untamed Glow Glossy Lip Glaze, I was like, oh my God. First of all, the model that they're using has the most stunning, gorgeous, plump, juicy, lineless lips you've ever seen in your whole entire life. So obviously this product looks beautiful, and the one thing they do really well is like phenomenal product photography. So like obviously the marketing is working, But it just looked so beautiful. And the one thing that I also really like about Kaleidos is they don't really play it safe necessarily with colors. They have a tendency to add more nuance and, you know, more grunge and smoke to their color ranges. So that was also really intriguing to see in this product. Now, obviously, this kind of like glossy lip oil glaze type thing is not new. Every brand and their mother is releasing one right now. I think e.l.f. actually just dropped some kind of like lip drip. There's, you know, the ever popular Clarins Comfort Lip Oil. There's the NYX Fat Lip Oils, which are great. That's kind of like higher end drugstore, mid-end drugstore. And then obviously now e.l.f.'s coming out with one. You know, Ritual Defy finally released the actual version of, oh, you're in here somewhere, their lip glosses. Here. These. The Thornbite Peptide Plump Lip Cream. Thornbite Peptide Plump Creme Lip Oil. My goodness, such a long name. I'm still using the Lap Access, but this is a gorgeous range of that like beautiful, rich, glassy, delicious, hydrating lip oil product. The Ritual Defy one does offer a range of shades, so you can buy Rose Crush, I think, or maybe it's Rose Dew. That's kind of just like a sheer color. It's not really, it doesn't have a tint. But then this one is Rose Bite, which has a little bit more pigment. So a really nice, you know, range of shades. And I think that's quite nice to have all of these variations. I have not really been wearing a lot of lipsticks in the last couple of years. I'm really into the glossy lip glaze, and I also frequently use the In Beauty one. Their new one, Pina Colada, is absolutely stunning, and it's in my backpack every single day. I take it with me everywhere because it's just so beautiful. So did I need necessarily a whole new range of that same kind of product from Kaleidos? No, but I couldn't resist and I wanted it so badly. So today we're going to swatch them all on my skin. So you have a skin swatch, but also I'm going to put every single one of them on my lips. Now, I have only tried 2 so far. The rest of them, I've only opened to like look at the packaging. I haven't opened them to put on my lips or swatch it on the back of my hand, nothing. So this is kind of like a first impressions as well for the majority of these shades. So the only ones that I've tried are Pink Marquee. And the outside packaging is also similar. It's really hard to tell them apart. But let me just open Pink Marquee right now. This is what the actual component looks like, and it's got a really nice weight to it. It's plastic. Had to test that against my teeth. You know, I'm sure my mother's going to be thrilled about that. So it's just very unique, but it's still got, you know, flat bottom, flat top, and your pretty standard doe foot applicator. Not too big, not too small, but also very soft. And the bottom of the component is a little bit clear, so you can tell what color you're picking. The bottoms have a little stamp, but they're all kind of this same shade as the packaging, which is this like purple pink metallic shade. So it's a little bit difficult just to tell by the bottom. Unless you've got the swatches memorized from the website, the name doesn't necessarily correspond to what the actual shade of the product itself is. And the other shade I have tried is Free Fall, I believe. Yes. And it is kind of this, it seems quite dark when I hold it up against the back of my hand, but it's a very sparkly, like shimmery gloss, but more on this kind of like silver smoky tone. So not your typical like champagne or pink glitter, which is actually really interesting and unique. I don't know that I've really seen a lip gloss in this shade, and it might look intimidating when you see it kind of in the tube, but on the lips it's absolutely stunning, and certainly has, you know, a time and place because it does pull a little bit cooler. And I guess I'll just start with those two because I'm already familiar with them. And maybe I will start with, both of these do have a bit of shimmer. Obviously Free Fall is far more shimmery. So I'm gonna start with Pink Marquee, just so that when I wipe it off, I'm not left with glitter particles kind of really clinging to my lips. And there is absolutely nothing on my lips. I used the Lawless Forget the Filler gloss, but I used that this morning, and since then I have not reapplied anything to my lips. It's just been, you know, my saliva from licking them. And I'm wearing very minimal makeup on my face. I have only my M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blush in the shade Rococo. Sorry, just had a little bit of a interruption. I'm on the clock, or I was trying to take a break, but you know, had to jump back to work because reality sucks right now. And you know, there are wars going on and delicate situations to be considered. So I had a little bit of a communications crisis to handle, but back to swatches, because sometimes we do need escapism and pretty things to make us happy for just a few minutes. Okay, as I was saying, I am going to swatch Pink Marquee first. I'm gonna do a swatch on my arm, and then I will do a swatch on my lips. It is such a pretty color and significantly pigmented, which is lovely. So it's this very rosy pink, and it does have a really, really, really delicate shimmer running through it, which just gives it that uber glassy appearance. Obviously, I've got quite a bright light going on here, but it's so pretty. And here we go on the lip application. So pretty. And it's such a soft formula. Like, that really is the best way I can describe it, is just soft. And even though it does have quite, you know, a good amount of pigment in it, it's not a messy application. It's lovely. It feels delicious on the lips. It just, I love the appearance. It doesn't have any kind of taste. There is no real fragrance, which is nice, especially if you have sensitivities to strong fragrances. And I would not say that it's sticky. It has definitely like a tackiness to it because duh, it's a gloss. But I don't know if it's like, okay, maybe a little bit sticky. If, you know, if you're in the wind and your hair blows across your face, you might get some stickiness. But I also quite enjoyed the wear on it. But again, it's a gloss. We're not talking about a lip stain or, you know, a matte lipstick that does have a little bit more grip to it. It's going to slip and slide because it's glossy and glazy. It's also super easy to apply, and especially this shade, and especially on me, I feel like this is very much like a My Lips but better tone. If it wears off, it's not going to be glaringly obvious that I've lost my lip product. It's just gonna kind of fade, which I really appreciate. I think that's also one of the reasons why I've been pulling away from wearing lipsticks. And like, the lipsticks I have are not like neutrals. I've never really found the point in like carrying around neutral lipsticks. So all of the lipsticks that I've ever worn are like really big, bold, beautiful shades because I love my lips and like, why not utilize them, you know? But, you know, it starts to like lift off on kind of the wetter part of the lips and then slowly like, it like retreats back to the vermilion border and then you just look insane. And that's why I love a gloss, because it's just so easy to reapply and you don't need a mirror or anything, but it's just so, so, so pretty. So I'm going to wipe that off and we're going to go into the next shade. And I'm just using a little cloth here to wipe off the gloss. And I think, as I was saying before I had to kind of sign off and run, I'm wearing very little other makeup today because I really wanted the lips to be the focus, which also means that like as I wipe off the swatches on my lips, I'm not disrupting too much other makeup. I just have very little concealer around kind of the blemish areas. Okay, here we go with Free Fall. And again, this is the kind of silvery shimmer shade, and cool, very, very, very cool toned. Again, I think most of us are used to very warm toned, or like, yeah, I think very warm toned glosses. Ooh, look at that sheen. This one definitely has slightly bigger particles of glitter. It's just, it's not like overly chunky. They're just more obvious, also because there's less pigment backing this specific gloss shade. And again, shade Free Fall. So pretty, but it's really, really, really cool toned. Like the pigment that is in it is almost a gray brown. It's really, really cool. And now we shall put it on the lips. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's got such a gray tone in it that it almost looks purple against my natural lip shade. But I really, really, I love the glitter in it. It's so pretty and sparkly. And like in the light, especially in the sunlight, it's stunning. Now, even though this is quite a cool leaning shimmer in the gloss, I think it's quite complementary. Like with the rest of my makeup is quite warm. Again, I've got on my Heaven's Glow blush in Rococo, which is like much warmer in tone, and my skin in general is much warmer in tone, but I don't feel like this is uncomplimentary to my skin tone, probably because there is no real backing pigment to the gloss. It's just very, very slight. So it's something that I feel like I can still pull off, and that I definitely want to wear because it just looks so beautiful on the lips. And there is a slight plumping quality, like it's kind of got this minty sensation, nowhere near the level of like an actual plumping gloss that has those claims, but it obviously, just with the gloss in general and the formula, they look plump. It smooths out any kind of lines. Again, it's a very like soft feeling formula. It doesn't feel sticky on the lips itself. Like it's just very smooth and silky. I love it. And look at how pretty that is. Free Fall. Chef's kiss. Now, I don't know if you can tell in the camera here, but even after wiping it off, there's no remnants of the gloss itself. But again, because of the nature of the glitter in that gloss, I still do have some remnants, which maybe, you know, I should have probably left the really glittery ones until the end, but it is what it is. And it just happened to be one of the first ones that I had pulled out. So I wanted to give that a go because I've already been using these two and I know that I'm going to keep them, and I didn't want, I don't know. There's a potential that some of these are going to go as gifts to friends and family. We are approaching the holiday season, so I'm also keeping that in mind. If there's other shades in here that I don't immediately love, I'm not holding on to them. So it's going to be like a single swatch and a re-gift kind of thing. Now, the next one I've pulled out is the shade Last Smoke. All of them are in the exact same packaging. The exterior of the packaging is the exact same color. So the only way that you can tell the difference in the color of the product itself is just this clear bottom and where you can actually see the gloss. Now, this one I think is probably the coolest toned one out of the entire range. I'm going to swatch it on my arm first. Now, against my skin tone, it leans quite like gray mauve. And again, they're so glossy and the lights are so bright, it's a little bit difficult to see. But it also, again, on my skin, and this is why, you know, Khaki is such a fan of color theory and talks about it so much, because these glosses and these kinds of colors will really look so different on everybody, depending on what your individual undertone is. So obviously a skin swatch against me, where I've got like very olive tone skinned, I'm very like green, it's going to pull a much different color than you might expect. And in my mirror here, it actually looks really, really like purple. So let's try it on the lips. Ooh, it's so cool toned. I don't think I like that. But I can see my sister really liking this. It's just the natural shade of my lips is not this at all. And because it's a gloss, it's sheer. So it's like, it's almost competing with the natural shade of my lips, I feel. Because it's not fully camouflaging it, and it just, in the viewfinder, it looks like kind of gray. In the mirror, it looks kind of gray. Again, nothing against the formula itself. I think it's beautiful. Like the shine and the gloss and the bounce and the plumpness is beautiful, but this shade, Last Smoke, is just not a color for me. But I think it might be something that my sister is really interested in because she's much fairer and much pinker in terms of undertones than I am. Interesting. But again, Kaleidos is doing something really interesting in terms of their own kind of color choices, because I feel like this is a very unusual gloss tone. A lot of gloss releases end up, you know, just going in the pinks and the reds and, you know, maybe into kind of like neutral browns, but rarely do we see a gloss that's kind of this like gray purple situation. So yes, again, Last Smoke, very intriguing, stunning formula, just not particularly the right or appropriate shade for me. And off we go. I feel like my lips are going to be so raw and or very well exfoliated after this. Okay, what do we have here? I feel like next I've got Hot Pursuit, which looks to be more of like a brownie nude, kind of like, definitely I would say still cool leaning, but more on the neutral side perhaps. And it looks like it's actually, again, on my arm, it's really similar in tone to Last Smoke. It's this one here. I'm doing a terrible job with swatches and where I'm positioning them. It's a little bit, so whereas Last Smoke has that kind of like purple shift to it, this one, Hot Pursuit, is more brown. It's a little bit warmer. But still kind of that same level of opacity in terms of the tone, but obviously like significantly different in shade from the first one we tried, which was Pink Marquee. Pink Marquee is that, you know, baseline kind of like rosy berry pink. And then we've got Hot Pursuit, which is very much like this grungy kind of neutral, but still, it still feels too cool for me. Yeah, look at that. It almost has this like chocolatey brown appearance on my lips. I do like that better than Last Smoke. It's definitely more complementary to my skin tone and just kind of my comfort zone. But I think it's also feels like the wrong shade for me. Formula is exactly the same. Bounce, sensation, all exactly the same. It does not have any shimmer in it, as far as I can tell, nor does Last Smoke. So Pink Marquee and Free Fall have that beautiful shimmer. Obviously Free Fall though has much more shimmer impact, like glitter impact, but Last Smoke and Hot Pursuit have absolutely no shimmer. They're just uber glossy. And this is, again, much closer to my skin tone and like the natural tone of my lips than Last Smoke, but still there's just something too kind of like gray purple about it for me personally. So I think that is also probably something I will pass on to a friend who has completely different skin tone and undertones than I do. And I feel, you know, comfortable doing that as a gift because I've only swatched it once. I can promise them that I don't have cooties. Okay, we've got 3 more left. I'm gonna go for Elixir next, which is the one that I keep thinking I've already swatched, but it wasn't. Okay, and this is why I keep thinking that I've already swatched it. So here is Pink Marquee in the component next to Elixir. So we've got Elixir and Marquee. They look almost identical. I think Elixir also does not have any shimmer in it, no glitter particles, and I think it's going to be a little bit peachier. I'm gonna swatch it actually right next to Pink Marquee, so we can really get that comparison. Yeah, it definitely is more peach. So I've swatched it right here. Pink Marquee is here, and Elixir is right there. Lovely. Again, it looks just as glossy because these products have a huge gloss payoff. And it is, again, a very kind of My Lips But Better shade. That is my comfort zone right there. So if I just wanted to kind of have the appearance of that My Lips But Better lineless, plump, juicy, I would totally pull out Elixir because it really just does everything. Pink Marquee, stunning, love it, definitely going to keep it. But it's got that little something extra. It's a little bit more of a berry tone and it's got the sparkle, so it's just a little extra oomph. This is definitely like an everyday, I'm just running out of the house, you know, I've got a Zoom meeting, gotta throw something on my lips just so that, you know, they don't look dry and cracked or whatever. This is stunning. I love it. And again, same cushion and comfort and silkiness. It's just absolute perfection. And I gotta also say that holding the component, because of this like raised design, like when you grip it, it kind of like your fingers go in between it. It's almost like it's an intentional grip. Why would you hold your lip product like this in a little fist, but I like it. So yes, I think Elixir is going to remain mine because that's just truly lovely. We also need to keep in mind that as I continue rubbing off product, blood is going to be rushing to my lips, so they're going to be a little pinker and more flushed than usual just because I'm giving them some rubbing. Okay, we have 2 left. I've got one more that I think is clear-ish, like another shimmery shade, and then one that is like super punchy, I think. Judging by, like, all of them do have a sort of indication of the shade on this little label here, but again, because it's like so metallic, it's a little hard to tell what it's actually going to look like. But this one here that I'm gonna pull out and give a try, I don't even think I've even, ooh, taken it out of the package. Wow, this is so sparkly. This is called Penthouse, and it is quite pigmented. We're on the other side of Pink Marquee, so I'm just gonna hold all 3 up. So we've got Penthouse, Pink Marquee, and Elixir. And I would say that these are definitely part of like same family in terms of the shade. And it looks so vibrant, and through the component, the shimmer in this one seems to kind of almost be like a duochrome. Like it's like a golden glitter, whereas I think in Pink Marquee we were dealing with probably like a very gentle champagne, and then in what was it called? My goodness, me and names. Free Fall, where we were dealing very much with like a kind of bluey silver shimmer. So even you can just see the pigment there on the doe foot for Penthouse. And I'm also going to swatch this alongside, wow, 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 the other 2 kind of pinkier tones. So right here. And it's really vibrant. I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of. I think actually there was a shade very similar to this in one of the Bite Beauty lip glosses. The ones that had the like gray plastic like angled applicator. There was, I think they released a shade that was very, very, very similar to this. And that again had that kind, like same kind of shimmer. And I loved those glosses. I'm actually going to be doing a declutter soon, and I think unfortunately the 3 that I have from that line, I've had them for so long, they were all open. They gotta go. I don't think I should be putting those on my mouth anymore, but they were absolutely stunning. And I think that's another reason why I really felt the urge to purchase this whole collection from Kaleidos, because I was just feeling nostalgic for that very specific Bite Beauty product that just doesn't really exist anymore. I know that you can go to their lip lab and now they can do like custom shimmer glosses, but like I don't really feel like doing that. Anyways, yes, the glitter in this is like very golden, but has this very bright pink shift to it. And this is like, for me, kind of giving Barbie. So skin, arm swatch, And now for the lips. Ooh. 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 This is so nostalgic for me, and I think it honestly is because of Barbie. And I want to say that when I was a kid, I probably still have it somewhere at my house, or my mom's house rather. I had a Barbie outfit, or rather my Barbie had an outfit that was exactly this color with this exact same shimmer. That is so pretty and so intense. Wow. The other thing about this product and just the texture of it is that it does just feel so good. I was literally the other day with Pink Marquee just sitting in my car and just putting it on my lips over and over and over again. Like, I wasn't even dipping the applicator back into the tube. I was just putting it, like, just running the doe foot over and over and over on my lips, because it just, the texture of the formula is just so soft and silky. It was just like such a soothing application. But anyways, this shade, it's beautiful. I'm gonna flip my mirror around here again just so that I have an actual sane view. That is so fun. It's definitely like where these two are smack dab in the middle of my comfort zone. This one pushes me a little bit outside because it's still very much a shade that I don't wear often. Like, it's got that super pink berry tone to it. It's not a neutral, it's not a Alanna's Lips but better shade. It's definitely like a pigment that has something to say. Probably, you know, it is the top floor. It is the penthouse of the lip gloss shade tower. And I'm here for it. I really like it. It's so pretty. It just looks beautiful. And the glitter in this is really sophisticated and it doesn't feel gritty. Like, I cannot feel the glitter in this at all, which is really nice. There are some lip glosses where if you rub your lips together, like, there is a sandy kind of feeling, which I don't know that anyone wants, honestly, but Kaleidos has done something really special here, I think, with this gloss. Glaze, whatever we want to call it. It's got 15 names. Untamed, Glow, Glossy, Lip, Glaze. Say that 18 times fast. You might pass away. Beautiful. Stunning. I need to go somewhere so that I can wear this. I mean, not that I can't just wear it around my house, but like similar to what happened with Free Fall, because in this one, the glitter particles are significant, like they're quite large and they've got some holding power. I definitely have remnants even after I've wiped that off, but the glitter itself is so pretty. Like, honestly, even after this is rubbed off, I like the effect that it's left on my lips because that glitter is being left behind, and it's just this like kind of cheeky shimmer now. And again, there's no sensation, there's no texture to that glitter. It's undetectable. But now I kind of do have glitter all over my face. My boyfriend's gonna love the fact that I'm rocking up with more glittery products. Okay, last but not least, except it's the last, is the shade Skinny Dip. Now this looks like a beige. It's the same level of shimmery as Pink Marquee, so it's like very, very, very delicate. It's not just full glitter, it's just kind of shimmery. And yeah, in the component it looks like a beige. So let's put this on. Now I've kind of swatched this in a silly way, but I'm gonna put it right next to, it is definitely a beige. Like neutral, leaning just slightly warm to my eyes, but who knows, I could be wrong. So I have put it beside Hot Pursuit down here. So definitely like we're into neutral territory here. This is very much like a nude gloss with that really, really, really delicate, almost imperceptible shimmer to it. So skin swatch, lip swatch. Ooh, it's really pale. It does have pigment. It's not a clear shimmer or a clear glitter gloss. I don't mind this, but I actually thought that this was going to be more of like a clear gloss. But this is also giving the kind of effect that, again, that one of the Bite Beauty lip glosses had. If you remember the Bite Beauty like espresso or like coffee lip gloss line, this is kind of giving that same like latte lip effect, and not latte like the trend that we just had over the summer. It's very much giving this like kind of, I've just put a latte gloss on my lips because it's got that kind of like milky tone against my specific color of lips. So it's making them look a little bit paler than they actually are naturally. Again, I don't hate it, but I also don't think that that is necessarily my favorite. Like, I think if I was like a porcelain skinned kind of pink toned young woman or person with paler lips, this would be, I think, my probably everyday go-to. But for me, I'm definitely leaning more towards these like top shades and Free Fall because I think it's just absolutely stunning, and it is that clear glitter gloss. So that's the one that's right in the middle here, and this is what I've just put on my lips. So I'm leaning towards the top half of my arm swatches here, and I think these three are going to be giveaways. Still super beautiful. This is just purely a personal preference based on what I'm comfortable wearing and the, you know, shades and tones that I feel comfortable in and that I think look good against my skin. Now, I think this shade specifically, because it isn't super pigmented, it's very much that beige tone, it's going to wear into my skin and into my lips really nicely over the course of a day or, you know, a few hours, to the point where it probably would become nearly imperceptible on the lips once it kind of does wear in and soak in. So it's I think a tone that I for sure could get away with, but I think this is definitely another one that's going to be gifted. And I'm just going to do one more spin of my mirror here so that the magnifying shade, yeah, when I look at it, my little viewfinder is so tiny, but when I look at it in the mirror on the non-magnifying side, it does seem to have like, it almost neutralized the shade of my lips a little bit too much for my personal preference. So I think, yeah, I think that's also a giveaway. And that's not too bad. I've got 3 gifts out of this purchase and 4 glosses that I'm going to be keeping for myself. I am going to be passing along Last Smoke, Hot Pursuit, and Skinny Dip, which on my arm are these 3 here. Last Smoke, Hot Pursuit, Skinny Dip. And even looking at the website, I think the only one out of these that caught me by surprise was Skinny Dip, and probably because I was looking at a swatch on an individual with a skin tone that was much different than mine, so it looked different naturally. But otherwise, I'm not at all surprised by kind of the results of that in terms of, you know, my expectations based on pure internet swatches and buying things online. But all in all, with this formula, like, I'm thrilled. I have no regrets about making this purchase at all. I think it's a beautiful formula. I really love Kaleidos. I'm so glad that I am kind of part of the Kaleidos universe now, because the products that I have introduced into my collection have truly been kind of like revolutionary for me. That blush in the shade Sanguine is one of my all-time favorite shades. I've worn it so much, and it's also just such a beautiful formula. Kaleidos really does formulas very well. I think they really understand color. They really understand also like niche marketing. This is not your standard makeup line. There is something very different and fun about them, but that's still, I think, really workable, and you can still play with it. And even if you're not, you know, a makeup artist, you can still approach these products with confidence that you're going to actually really enjoy using them. Like, there is a level of user friendliness, especially if you just have a baseline understanding of what colors work with you. And like, in terms of formula, I don't think so far I've approached any of their formulas that are super difficult to work with. Maybe in terms of like pigmentation, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but that's only really in, I think, their like eyeshadows. And even me, someone who's not a particularly great person when it comes to, a great artist when it comes to eyeshadow, I shouldn't call myself not a great person, it's silly. I've had a lot of fun with the palette that I do have, and it's not neutral shades, it's like all purples. Oh wait, no, I do have this Sashimi City one, which is more like browns. But the other one that I have is like intense, like punch you in the mouth purple. And I just had a blast using those two and didn't really have any fear approaching those formulas. So yes, I love Kaleidos. I love this release. I'm super happy that I pulled the trigger and bought the whole set. And like I said, I've now ended up with 3 kind of gifts out of that purchase that I can, you know, now pay it forward this holiday season. And I'm already filling up my gift cupboard, so that's great. I've just checked off a few boxes there already thanks to this. Anyways, I think that is everything for me today. This is probably super long for a swatch video, but it was fun, and I never really get to do this because I so rarely buy an entire collection of something. So it's kind of hard to do that sort of swatch video. But yeah, this was fun. I'm gonna get better at doing swatches. They went on a significant angle away from being directly in the camera, so you know, learning curves. But if you're new here and you made it all the way through this video, and this is the reason that you clicked on this video and entered into the Alanna-verse, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. We have a cute fun time here, and I highly recommend that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Land Fam. We would love to have you. I would love to have you. For the rest of y'all, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for, you know, just hanging out with me, being here, supporting me, hitting that thumbs up button, commenting, whatever, loving me offline. Your support and your togetherness means the world to me. And I think that's everything. I'm going to bid you adieu. I'm going to go have some water because I've been talking a lot. And then I'm going to go do a very glossy workout once my work day is over. Okay, y'all, I will see you in my next one. I love you so much. Bye.